This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. I'm here in Nevada. Now don't get too excited. No, I'm not at Area 51. But one thing you can't get excited about is the fact that I'm here with the one and only Ford Fischer of News2Share, a man who knows all too well about censorship, demonetization. In fact, if you guys don't know, Ford and I were kind of lumped into the Vox adpocalypse. And you, just like me, had your channel completely demonetized. So maybe you could just start us off with, like, how did you first hear that your channel was demonetized, and what was that like for you when the news came out that they were going after guys like you and me?
Yeah, so it was funny because there was a round of news articles that came out basically all at once. So clearly YouTube had told the media that they were going to do what has now been dubbed the Vox adpocalypse. They told the media that and clearly embargoed it so that all of the news stories would come out simultaneously. So I saw one of those. I think Business Insider was the one that I saw first. And when I saw that article, I actually posted it to both Facebook and Twitter saying, you know, YouTube says it's about to remove like 1,000 channels and, you know, what do you think? And I had no idea posting that minutes later I'd find out that I'm one of the targets, and apparently you as well. So yeah, YouTube seemed to be under pressure by Carlos Maza to censor Steven Crowder over what he perceived as bullying. And the thing, though, is I don't really blame either of those two people, because I think that at the end of the day, YouTube is the one that made the change. And so YouTube affected all sorts of people that that had nothing to do with the underlying controversy. So they seem to have just widened their community standards. They deleted some channels accordingly, they deleted some content accordingly, and demonetized some entire channels. In my case, they deleted 2 videos outright and demonetized everything. Well,
in the case with Maza and Crowder, it seemed that it had something to do with the fact that he was gay a little bit. And I know in my videos I often expose transgender activists, for example, who abuse children and things of that nature. And I get into topics like immigration and things that are on the borderline of hateful or harmful content, according to YouTube, apparently. But how would you describe your content? Because it seems bizarre that you would be lumped into something like this, because you're such a non-biased outlet.
So all of my content is just raw footage of various types of activism, and none of it has anything to do with what I personally think. I'm pretty open about what my personal political beliefs are, but if you watch my actual content on YouTube, you'll find basically no bearing from what I believe to how the videos look. It's almost all just raw video of various flavors of activism, left, right, anarchist, left anarchist, whatever it is, that is really just meant to show people sort of exactly what's happening and allow them to sort of form their own opinions. In YouTube's case, it seems like they have conflated video documentary news content of things that they would see as hateful and itself hateful content. So out of the 2 videos that were deleted, one of them, for example, was at AIPAC, where there was pro-Israel and pro-Palestine people arguing with each other, and then a Holocaust denier showed up. And both sides together started berating the Holocaust denier. And so YouTube, in its change of community standards, has added denial of historical tragedies such as the Holocaust or Sandy Hook and so forth, that those are now not allowed on YouTube. Of course, my video was not a video that itself denies a historical tragedy. It was a video of people confronting somebody who does. And so that's the kind of nuance that YouTube either doesn't understand or claims not to understand. And it seems to be more broadly in the interest of just serving kind of the mainstream media outlets on it. All the independent media viewership is going down amid censorship and algorithmic changes, but it's not like fewer people are using YouTube. So where are the views going? The data has mostly showed that it's going toward channels like Fox, CNN, and MSNBC, essentially the cable news outlets that are now increasingly relying on YouTube as a platform.
Well, it seems they've been doing this to us incrementally. There was a first phase where they kind of took out people from Facebook, then there was the adpocalypse, then the Vox adpocalypse. It seems that this is being done incrementally, and do you feel that there's maybe phase 4, 5, and 6 coming down the road? And if so, what sort of things are you doing to prepare yourselves for more censorship that's coming?
Yeah, so luckily I have a fan base that is supportive, and so I have like Patreon, for example, to not replace, but at least try to fill in that ad revenue. And there's been a little bit more momentum for that, for sort of direct donations after people saw what had happened to me. They like my content, they see that that I'm no longer getting paid for it, and so they're willing to pitch in $2 or $5 a month or whatever it is. In terms, though, of what do I do if the whole channel is deleted outright, it's kind of hard to say. My biggest philosophy is just diversifying where you post your stuff. So right now I use Minds, which is an alternative, crypto-based, blockchain-based social media platform that does take video. I am excited about the fact that there are many other competing platforms like that. I'm willing to try out different ones. So far, Minds is my favorite. But Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds, just trying to diversify as much as possible so that if one is lost, then I don't lose everything.
Yeah, we really can't be putting all our eggs in one basket, especially when they're clamping down on us now at such an exponential rate, really. I remember when they tried to pass through the ACTA and CISPA and PIPA, and they tried to put pen to paper. It didn't work. Now they're just going for it. They're just going for it. So yeah, let people know where they can find you if they've never followed your work. How can they find you and support you?
Yeah, so on basically every social media platform, it's News2Share. News, the number 2, share, one word. My name is Ford Fischer, FORDFISCHER. And so, yeah, Facebook is where I do live streams, so people can see the events that I'm covering essentially beginning to end in a very, very unedited and live way. And then YouTube is where I tend to put videos that are sort of HD and sort of summarize those situations that I live streamed, so they can watch that, and if they want, they can see the context of everything in the live stream. And then Twitter is where I do it in more of a Twittery format, breaking it down into small segments and kind of having a caption for each thing. And so I kind of break up stories into threads. And then Minds, where, I certainly have fewer people on Minds just because less people are on Minds. But I do try to post there regularly as well, sort of like I do on YouTube. I have 1,000 subscribers on there. I do feel like there is real engagement on that website, so I do recommend that people check that out, and I'm basically 100% confident that I'll never be censored there.
Awesome. Me too. I'm a big fan of Minds, BitChute. A bunch of them are coming out right now that are really standing up for guys like us when it comes to censorship. So yeah, links will be located in the description below. I highly encourage you guys to check him out. He does great work, and throw him a bone. Check out the Patreon. We need the support coming directly from you, the viewers, which is, I think, who we want to be beholden to anyways, right? So once again, thanks so much for talking to us.
Yep, thank you for having me on.
We all want truth. The truth will set you free.